Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video I just wanted to talk quickly through a few tips about painting at this time of year in the autumn. We've got some fantastic colours to look at the moment, but also we've got some very long shadows. The light is lower at this time of year and we get these beautiful long shadows, lots of variation in light and colour, and it's a lot of fun to try and paint it. So don't look at this as a completed painting. This was just to give you an idea of where I was going to set off and go with this. And I've used the Derwent Inktense blocks. If you haven't got those, don't worry, of course these principles apply to your watercolours as well. But I used these for a reason today, which I'll talk about a bit in a moment. If we look at this now and look at the photograph, I'm seeing that really I should have used a lot more blue in the shadows here. But don't worry too much about the colours, it was more about getting those long shadows of the trees in. So, and what I wanted to say about the Inktense is they're really so good to layer up. So once you've put them on, they are permanent. So once it's dry, you can put more and more layers over the top, and I did the shadow colours first and then put the greens and the yellows over the top, and I could carry on with that and build it up and build it up, because the layers underneath are still going to come through and they're still going to be there. They're not going to lift off your paper, so they're very handy for that kind of work. You could do this with your watercolours, but you need to be a little bit more gentle when you're putting on subsequent layers. So you've got a very busy pattern here in this field. We've got lots of lines from where the tractors have been, or I'm not sure what they've been doing on this field actually, but there's lots and lots of lines. And those are going across the shadows, so you've got a lot going on and a lot of movement in this photograph. It's a beautiful photograph. I think it's off Pixabay. So if you look at pixabay.com, I think the what I put to find this in the search engine was something like autumn fields, and you'll find lots of beautiful photographs. And I thought it'd be quite nice to do this row of trees without anything behind it actually, because what strikes you about the photograph is this line of yellow going all the way across. So that's where I started, you'll see, with this, and you could go on and develop it. I would use a smaller brush for my trunks, those are far too fat, and I would have these slightly longer. If you look at those, look how long they are. So that was one tip, was to really look at the moment when you're doing your artworks, and when you're out and about taking photographs, just look at those shadows and just how far along they're going. So we've got this wood up here and these shadows are coming right down across the whole of the field, touching the next trees along there. And that's going to give you a sense of time of year, getting all that in. So that was really it. I just wanted to say about using those, layering them up, putting them on top of each other, and you could build it up and build it up. As you can see, I've not gone dark enough yet. A lot of this in the foreground here is a lot darker because the sun's hitting the top of the hill here, and we need a lot more difference between that light there and this in shadow here. And then of course you could come along and put these beautiful colours in the foreground as well. So really when you start a painting, you've got to be thinking to yourself, what is it that I find attractive about this this photograph, this subject that I'm looking at in front of me. I'm just looking out of the window now, and we've got all the autumn colours out there. And it's what attracts you. You're the artist. It's the thing that interests you is the thing that you've got to get down on the paper. And to me, it's this light and the colours that we've got there. So think about making a focal point of that, and think about what you're going to leave out that doesn't necessarily attract you. So here we've got lots of buildings and houses, and all that they're doing is making it much more complicated and detracting from the trees. So it'd be quite nice just to have something quite plain behind the trees there if you were going to do this background. Look how much more out of focus the background is compared to these as well, to make it further away, and there's a lot more blue in it. So think about all these things before you start. Think about putting more blue further away to make the painting recede, and more yellow closer to you to make the foreground come forward. But also, like I say, think about what you like about it, where you want to take the viewer's eye when they're looking at your painting later on. And like I say, leaving things out. So I would leave all this out, but I would keep these lovely lines that you've got going down here. You've got a line going down here, and that's all going to help your composition move the viewer's eye around the photograph. Okay, so I hope all that makes sense to you, and I hope you're out and about at the moment enjoying getting some autumn photographs and doing some autumn paintings with these fantastic colours. And again, with the Derwent Inktense, because they're so bright, you can get some of those colours, but you can also mix them on the paper. So you'll see I mix these colours of the tree, I'll let them sort of blend into each other. So if you've got these and you've not used them much, have a bit of a play with them, get some scrap paper and see what you can do with them, because you can use them either neat, I'll just pick one up, you can use them to draw with and then you can add water to them. I'll just get my brush. Or you can paint with them. You can mix them on the paper wet into wet, or you can use them wet on dry. So there's lots of different ways and techniques you can use with your Inktense, so it's good to have a bit of a play and have some fun with those. Okay, so I'm sorry it's a bit of a shorter video than normal. It was just, that was the part of this photograph that really interested me, and I just, as I was doing it, thought, well, that's a good thing to talk to you about, is getting those long shadows in. Because when someone looks at your artwork, what you want to give them is a sense of time of day, a sense of place and a sense of time, so the time of day and the time of year. And to me, this photograph tells us exactly that. We can really see with these really nice long shadows here, and I would use a blue for those if we look at it more closely now. And when you put blue against orange, this is the other thing about autumn. We've got natural contrast going on. We've got blue against orange and mauves against yellows, which are on the opposite side of the colour wheel to each other. So we're already getting a really vibrant painting without really having to think too much about our colour choices. Okay, so enjoy your autumn painting and drawing if you have time to do that. I really do hope you do, because it's a fabulous time of year to get out and about doing that. And we've actually had some really nice weather here just recently, some sunny days, so it's been great to do that. Okay, so I'll be back with you again soon with another tutorial or demonstration. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.